Imagine this. You're on the appointment with the seller and you give them a crazy low price. And guess what they do? They shake your hand and say, yes, let's do it. You pull out your free wholesaling contract and you sign it and the seller signs it at that price. Wow, awesome, amazing. You're celebrating. You're so happy for yourself. You got your first wholesaling contract signed, but you're sitting at the kitchen room table looking at this property. Probably needs a lot of work and you got the contract signed. You're so happy, but this dreaded question comes to you. What do I do next? Every real estate wholesaler on YouTube, it just doesn't tell me what to do. They say, buy my course, I'll show you exactly how to do it all. Or they're extremely vague. They just say, go to a title company and they'll handle the rest for you. And you don't know what to do. No one's being specific with anything. And you just don't know what to do after you get the contract signed. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you step by step in excruciating, painful detail on exactly what you need to do right after that seller puts pen to paper and signs that wholesaling contract. What's up, guys? Zach in here with Flip with Rick. And in today's video, like I've said before, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do after you get that wholesaling contract signed. Now, not a lot of people talk about it, but we're going to go into detail right now, step by step, on actually what to do to go from the start to finish line when you get that contract signed, dealing with cash buyers, qualifying them, what to actually do with the title company, what to say to the title company, what to say to your seller after they sign the contract to make them feel extremely comfortable with you, and lastly, how you can profit and repeat. So before we get into it, please smash that like button and subscribe so you can get notified when I give you this daily wholesaling valuable content, high quality videos coming at you every single day about real estate wholesaling and obviously to help the YouTube algorithm. So let's get into it. So yes, it's true. Most wholesalers in real estate wholesaling are not going to tell you what to do right after you get the contract signed. Most gurus and coaches out there are going to show you actually how to market for your deals, how to talk to the sellers, how to actually have a cold call, do the SMS stuff. But really, they'll teach you a little bit about acquisitions, but they really try to gatekeep what to do after you get that contract signed for their special course. And obviously, I've not really known this problem. It's a weird one for me. I've gotten this question asked so many times, and I just give the regular answer. Go to the title company, and they'll take care of the rest. And I fell victim to that trap. Most people want to know exactly what to do and what to say, and it just seems hard for me after doing hundreds and hundreds of wholesaling real estate deals and Rick doing thousands of deals. Just going back to my shoes 4 years ago when I was 17 years old, getting my first contract signed and not knowing what to do. It seems like second nature now, but I think a lot of people get mixed up and thinking it's a crazy complicated process. So I'm here to hold your hand and really help you get from that contract signed to that check, because it's a lot more daunting than you think. And a lot of people don't have someone just to hold their hand and help them out one-on-one with this. So let's cut the fluff. Let's get into nitty-gritty details and let's get started. So we have the contract. I sign it, seller signs it. It's at a crazy, deeply discounted price, and we're ready to bring it to a cash buyer. So what do we do exactly when we're still at the seller's appointment, or let's say we're doing some virtual wholesaling and we actually get it signed from there? What do we do? First of all, we need to talk to the seller while we're still at that appointment, while they just signed the contract. What you need to do is we have to basically condition the seller to let them understand that we're legit still. There's no getting out of this contract. Make sure that they understand and really make them feel comfortable when we eventually bring our cash buyers to the property. Now, we're not going to lie to the seller and say, hey, we're just going to have somebody walk through. They're not going to buy this property cash and we're just going to try to make a profit off of you. We're not going to say that. What we're basically going to say instead is, hey, Mr. Seller, so glad we got this going. I can't wait for you to get a new place. Can't wait to get you cash for this property. What's going to happen next so they feel comfortable, because uncertainty in their heads makes them feel uncomfortable, which could honestly destroy your deal. So we want them to feel very comfortable. And again, we're providing a service. So we want them to feel as comfortable with this transaction and the process going forward. So a lot of people aren't comfortable, or they're not really that knowledgeable on the home selling or home buying process. So we want to educate them a little bit. So basically what I say when I get my contract signed is, hey, Mr. Seller, thank you so much for just choosing me. I can't wait to buy this property, get you the cash for it. So what's going to happen next is I'm going to bring this contract to the title company, and the person at the title company, their contact, I'm going to call her Mary Sue. Mary Sue, she's going to get in contact with you. She's going to ask some of your information. Most importantly, how to get you the money, wire, check, and she's going to coordinate giving you the money Obviously, we're going to give the money to the title company, and then the title company is going to disperse the funds off to you. But that person is going to be the middleman to really make the process as simple and easy as possible for you. They're going to run the title, give me title insurance, and I'm also going to drop off my earnest money for you. From that end, it's going to be really easy on the whatever date we choose on or before to close the contract. That's when we get it done, actually close the real estate deal. And from there, we'll close on that date. But in between that, again, we're not doing any more inspections or anything like that. But my partner is probably going to want to go by the property and just see it. He's really old school. He just wants to go through there and look at it. Is that okay if they do that? 99% of the time, they're okay with it. And their partner could be your cash buyer. Again, your partner, you guys are partners because you're signing contracts, you're making money. So technically you're business partners. So you're telling the truth there, and really say 1 or 2 partners going through it, my realtor, my contractor, just input whatever things you want to say besides partner in there. And they should be pretty much conditioned for you to go buy the property with a cash buyer. Should be pretty easy from there. Next, what we're going to do is we left the appointment. The seller's now conditioned that they're going to get a call from Mary Sue at the title company. They're comfortable with that. The reason why I go very much into detail about the Mary Sue and the title company is because the seller, sometimes sellers, if they don't have someone in their contacts, they won't answer the phone. Really, mostly the older people, and I'm in Florida, so there's a lot of older people, but really they don't feel comfortable answering a phone number that is sort of unknown, or it's not in their contacts, so they might not answer it. But if I give them that phone number, they put the title company in their contacts. When they get a call from Mary Sue at the title company, she'll answer it. That's always been a little bit of a problem. I get like 1 or 2 of those a year. And we left it. We left the appointment. The seller's comfortable. They know the cash buyer. They're comfortable with my partners or my realtor, my contractor going through 1 or 2 more times, and they got the info from the title company. So what we got to do next is we're going to probably email it or drive to the title company, wherever you're most comfortable, or whatever you're doing, virtual wholesaling or regular physical wholesaling. And we're going to send that contract over to the title company. Now, again, we want to make sure that the title company is already vetted from us. We've already vetted them. So we just want to make sure, again, that the title company, we've talked to them, we sat them down. In this video right here, Rick actually shows you how to vet and find the perfect title company. So if you're in that situation, watch that video. But really, you're going to make sure you just find the wholesaling friendly title company and they're okay with your contract already. We're going to send that contract to that title company. We're going to drop off our earnest money deposit, $100 to $200, and get in contact, get the information, send the seller's information to the title company. It all should be going pretty smooth. They're going to run the title, make sure everything's good and clean for the cash buyer at the end. And most of the times, that's as easy as it gets. But the most important thing when you're dealing with a title company is make sure they email you confirmation that they got the contract and they're running the title and they actually got your earnest money deposit and it is received. You want to make sure there's a paper trail just in case things get messy or they lose, or they tell you never got the contract or the earnest money and they're not working on it because no one even contacted them. Then you have a paper trail from the actual title people, from the title company, stating that they got all of it. So you're good if a situation ever arises. Yes, this has happened to me before. That's why I said that. And then we're going to go find our cash buyer. So you should, before you even get the contract signed, have a solid cash buyers list. So in this video above me is actually a pretty good one, actually how to build cash buyers as fast as possible, over 200 a day. Just watch that video. That'll actually be really helpful for you. But once we get that cash buyers list actually built, what we're going to do is we're going to email blast that. We're going to SMS blast it. So basically, if you want to find cash buyers like really quickly, let's say you're doing virtual wholesaling and in a crazy market you're never in, what I recommend you do is just go to listrei.com and from there, pull all the cash transactions, and then go to smszack.com, skip trace from there, and then SMS blast all those cash buyers, basically stating that, hey, I have a deeply discounted property in blank city, whatever city you're in, and I'm looking to get rid of it for cash. Are you a cash buyer? ? And you send those out, make sure the filter and the keywords are good. Again, there's people watching this video from a year or 2 past, so maybe smszack.com changed their filtering, but usually it's pretty good like that. You'll find your cash buyers, and then what we do is put them in the list, make sure we got proof of funds, they're all vetted, we're all good to go. But I like the email blast. I like MailChimp or SendGrid. Those are pretty good. Then from there, smszack.com to actually blast all the cash buyers out. And sometimes I'll send the actual deal. Sometimes I'll send something around the deal, like a 3.2, 1,400 square foot home, looking to get rid of deeply discounted. And from there, usually you have about, if you have thousands of cash buyers, you probably have 10 to 15 that like buy a lot from you. What I do is is I'd actually call. They're not cold calling. It's actually just, I guess, warm calling. Technically with that is I would just call all those cash buyers and tell them about the deal and send them the information so they're aware of it, so they can be maybe on your VIP list for cash buyers, and you'll just blast that out there. From there, you'll find maybe 4 or 5 cash buyers like really excited to buy this property. And then I would get a price commitment. So we have 4 or 5 cash buyers. They're like, Zach, I want to buy this property from you. I'm ready to go. What I want you to do is, okay, Mr. Cash Buyer, that's great. So before I walk you through the property, because the cash buyer is going to be asking you to walk through the property, you don't want to waste your time. If you're trying to sell this thing for 100, you have it under contract for 90, and in their head, they think they can get it for 70, it's not going to work. And we're trying to sell it for 100, and we put it on the marketing, but they think they can negotiate us down. So what you want to do is get a price commitment from the seller, because the worst thing possible is bringing in a cash buyer that's not even going to buy the property, and you're going to waste a valuable slot that you could have walked through that property, because really at most you can bring 4 cash buyers, I would think, maybe 5 sometimes through a property before the seller's like, stop bringing people through the house. You don't want to waste that spot on a cash buyer that's not actually going to buy it or not really comfortable with that price. So before you walk through, before you bring the cash buyer through the property, they call you. They're like, Zach, I'm ready to buy this thing. Basically state, so what price are you committed to buying this at? Literally just say that. They say, if it's all good, $95,000. And okay, that's $5,000 over. What I have it on a contract for, I can make $5,000. Fine. Set the appointment for there to walk through the house. And then you got one other person that says, Zach, I'm at like 96. And I'm like, well, we have other cash buyers that are probably at 100. So can you up that price up if I can get a price from you so I can bring you through the property? Say, fine, we'll do 100. And you bring that guy through, and then you get the price commitments on there. And basically at the end there, what you're going to do is you're going to set everyone up for like next week. What you're going to do is the day before that cash buyer walks through the property, this is the stuff, again, ding, 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 that only wholesaling courses will show you. But what you want to ask this cash buyer, this specific question. Say this, Mr. Cash Buyer, I know you said you got a price commitment at $100,000. I just had a quick question for you before we walk through this property tomorrow. Oh yeah, sure. If I had this property under contract for $1,000, then I would get a $99,000 assignment. Would you be comfortable with that if you got the property for $100,000? He said, now here's the funny part. Some cash buyers are like, no, I'm not comfortable with you making that much money, getting on a contract for $1,000. No. Don't even bring it through the property. You want a cash buyer to be comfortable with you making as much money as possible. They only care about that end price. And if the cash buyer says, I don't care, you get the thing for $1. If I can buy this thing for $100,000, I'm happy. So that's what you really want to get from the cash buyer. Sometimes the cash buyer can walk away from the whole deal if they find out you're making a ton of money from it. I've seen cash buyers walk away knowing that you're making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 on an assignment. So sometimes you have to get double close there, but overall, make sure that they're okay with you making a fat assignment deal if that means you're bringing them more deeply discounted properties. Then from there, you're going to schedule it. You're going to bring the cash buyers to the property, make sure it's all smooth. Please make sure that the cash buyer isn't like asking the seller questions or really talking to the seller like, hey, are you the seller here? Hey, I'm the buyer. No, they're your partner. They're going to shut up. They're going to look through the property, and then they're going to get out of there. And we're going to talk to the seller, make sure they're comfortable with it. We're going to do the walkthrough. Hey, are you ready? How's the family? Okay, cool. We're ready to go on the 17th. And you should just make the seller feel as comfortable as possible with the process and transaction. And then what I'd be doing is basically every day or every other day, I'd be calling the seller on this and just making sure they're comfortable with the process, the transaction, and they're still ready to go. And the title company is still contacting them, and everything's going as smooth as possible. Lastly, the cash buyer should get back with you. Say, hey, John, are you good at the $100,000 price? Yes. What you're going to do is you're going to go to www.flipwithrick.com/contract and then download my free wholesaling contract. But that's not really what you want to do. You want to download the free assignment of contract. So they're both in there. Once you just put in your information, I'll email you the assignment of contract and the wholesaling contract. So disregard the wholesaling contract if you already got it, but going to www.flipwithrick.com/contract. It's an absolutely free assignment of contract. That one should give you the most protection in most states in the United States for wholesaling real estate. So your cash buyer can't screw you out of the deal. You don't lose your earnest money deposit. You make sure that's protected. And at best, no one can screw you out of this wholesaling deal, so you're as protected as possible. Because honestly, guys, in wholesaling real estate, you need someone behind your back. And a lot of you guys are doing this by yourselves. And I did this by myself starting out. So having someone behind your back like me and Rick creating assignment of contracts for free for you, absolutely amazing. So use that assignment of contract, fill it out, make sure the cash buyer fills it out. It's all good. Make sure you fill it out. What we're going to do is we're going to bring that to the title company. Make sure the cash buyer gives you at a minimum at least $3,000 as a non-refundable deposit, either to me, aka you, or they bring it to the title company. And we want to make sure we want to bring it to the title company, that assignment of contract, give the title company information to the cash buyer. And then what we got to do is call the title company and then confirm that they got the assignment of contract, and then confirm, most importantly, that they received the $3,000 non-refundable deposit. Once we get confirmation on that, boom, we're done. We're ready to go. We're going to wait till the closing date. Still call the seller, make sure they're comfortable. Call the cash buyer, make sure they're good, ready, they're comfortable. And then at the closing, we're going to sit down with the seller. And what we're going to do is, when we're actually at the closing date, we're going to call the seller and say, hey, what time are you going to do the closing? Oh, we're going to be there 9:30 a.m. I want you to make sure you're there at 9:15 a.m. before they're even going to be there. And most importantly, the reason why I say this is we're going to sign at the same time as the seller, because we don't want to sign at the same time as the cash buyer, because the seller's going to be like, who's that? We're not even going to go there. But what I want to do is sign at the same time as the seller, make sure the cash buyer signs at a different time, either the day before or after. But when you want to be with the seller, you want to be them at the title company, so you're both signing it. And then once the deal's done, they sign it, we signed it, the deal's basically done. Now you don't have to worry about the seller doing anything crazy. So what we're going to do at the end of it, now they're done signing, they walk up, they're ready to walk away, say, hey, Mr. Seller, is it okay if we did a quick video just stating if you're comfortable with my services and that you liked it? It'll really help me out for other people if they're looking to sell the property for cash and they want to know if this is legitimate and that you actually got your money. And 99% of the time they should be comfortable with it. So make sure the title person, grabs their phone and then records you, and just make a little testimonial video just stating what you do. It makes everything so much easier for when you have to deal with something on your website or a seller's like, hey, do you actually buy properties? You're looking very young, Zach. Should do a pretty quick testimonial. A testimonial should look something like this.
Hey guys, this is Zach in here from Trish Coast Home Buyers. I'm with Paula here. I just recently purchased her property all cash in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Paula, what was it like working with me, and did I truly buy this house all cash?
You sure did, and it was a very exciting experience, and I'm glad it's almost over with today, that I get to go move on to another one and live happily ever after. Thank you for purchasing my house. I appreciate the smooth sailing and the easy paperwork. It was very explainable, and you just helped me right along. It's just very appreciative. Thank you for your business.
It means a lot. I truly appreciate it.
It's smooth sailing, that's all I can tell you. I'm excited, I'm getting out, and I'm going to be getting another home.
Very informal, very easygoing, stating that you're actually buying this property cash and you're a good person, and it should be really easy. I'm having my acquisitions guys, he does all of them now, but really back in the day, I used to do that at the title company all the time. It was so fun. Lastly, we're going to have the cash buyer. He's going to sign everything, and then boom, we get our check. It's nice and awesome. We finally got the deal closed, and what we're going to do is just going to repeat it and keep making money. So that's it, guys. That is in as much painful detail as I can make what to do exactly after you get the contract signed. This was I got like 4 or 5 messages last month on actually this question. I'm like, you know what? The people really want it, and I want to provide as much value as I can to help you guys out. So I really appreciate it, and I'm just so humble for the support you guys are giving us here at Flip with Rick on my channel. So thank you guys so much, and have a blessed day.